here's the shawl as a work in progress. I didn't finish it. And I want to explain the chart. So the first part is clear. You just have to do once everything that I show you there. But the second part, where we have to repeat the rows, that's where I want to explain. So here's how the shawl works. We have these columns on the sides, and then in the middle I will put like this, then so you can understand. So here's another like separatory column, because we have this separation, and from these columns we have the increase of the feathers. So here's these separatory columns, and then in between them we have three like motifs of feathers. So that's how I put it in the chart. So here are these 4 walls, 1, 2, 3, and 4, and in between we have these feathers motifs. You can see that. And here in the middle columns we have 4 stitches increase. We have 2 feathers that come from this column, from each of these columns, and on the sides we have 2 stitches increase, because we have only 1 feather creating and just going after that. So that's why on the chart we have, on the sides we have 2 stitches increase, and then in these middle columns we have 4 stitches increase, and in between, as I said, we have this central motif of feathers. And the other thing is that the first time you do these rows from 33 to 68 because we have those rows 2, 3, and 4 after 65, that's why I say 68. So when you do the first time this repeat, you have only 1 feather like this, and you repeat everything once, and then motif, that means you repeat again this central part. But when you do the second time and the next time you repeat these rows, you will have to repeat also in this motif part, you will have to repeat more times this part that you have in the black frame. So for each row you repeat from here to here, and then this is like a symmetry stitch. I will explain here, maybe it will be clearer. So let's take this row with the decreases, and I'll explain it. So here's the motif. So we start, we start here, but it's not so clear for you to see it like this a little bit backwards, so I will explain on this central part. So from here to here, and I want you to understand this part in the black frame. So we have this row number 41, well, 37 and 41, they're the same, and we have to, well, it's at this level. So here it's a 1 repeat. Like I said, this is the first time we do this repeat of these rows, and this is the second time, so we have 2 feathers, 2 repeats. So the chart says start with the knit column, so here it is. After that we have a right slant decrease, so here it is. After that 3 stitches, well, 4 stitches increase, 3 columns, 4 stitches increase, then a left slant decrease, and slip one yarn over, and here stops the repeat. So that's 1 repeat. Knit, brioche knit, a right slant decrease, 4 stitches increase, a left slant decrease, and then you stop. So that's everything you had in the black frame. After that you start again from the beginning of the black frame. Brioche knit, right slant decrease, 4 stitches increase, left slant decrease, And after that, when you did all the repeats that you have only two stitches left before that column of, well, that separatory column in between the motifs. You do brioche knit and then slip on yarn over. So here it is, a brioche knit, slip on yarn over, and then you have this separatory column that you knit, and then you go again with the motif. So I don't know if it's clear. I hope it is, and I hope it's clear what how I did the chart. You have the full chart also, and there I show you that in between these columns you have all motif. That means you have all of these stitches. So you have to do it 3 times. These stitches, you need them 3 times, and then you have these columns in between. Well, 3 times means you repeat this part as many times as you need, 3 times, and then knit these stitches. I'll show you and I'll try to explain as much as I can, and I hope this helped you also to understand what you have to do if you want to knit this peacock shawl. And now I will start and I will show you how to do it from the beginning, and then get to the repeat part, and I'll explain again. Well, maybe it will be clear in the end, I hope. To start the shawl, you have to cast on 9 stitches, and I will do it like for my other shawls. You just put the yarn as you put it usually in your hand, and the tail, you have to make a loop like this with the tail under the working yarn, and then you can pinch the yarn like this, the loop, to close the loop, insert the needle, and start knitting inside this stitch, this loop. You have to create 9 stitches, and you knit, yarn over, knit again. So we have 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. After that, you just pull on this tail, and we have 9 stitches that we need. Turn the work and start knitting. And the first row will be knit 1, that's the edge stitch, and after that you have to do the repeat, the usual repeat for the brioche that I do in my first row. That's slip on yarn over, knit 1, and repeat again and again. Slip on yarn over, that means you go with the needle under the yarn and just slip purlwise the stitch, and knit 1. I'll have to explain that. And again, slip 1 yarn over. I say slip 1 yarn over, but actually that's I get that question why you say slip 1 yarn over and you do the yarn over and then you slip it. So slip 1 yarn over means you slip the stitch with the yarn over needle. It doesn't mean that I do the yarn over after slipping the stitch. So slip 1 yarn over, needle, knit 1, and then in the end you have 2 stitches left. You slip 1 yarn over and knit the last edge stitch. After that, slide the stitches to the other end of the needle. Since it's brioche, you have to knit on circular needles or double point needles because you have to slide the stitches from one end to the other. Now we pick up the second color yarn, put the tails together, and I just do it like this and start knitting. Slip purlwise the first edge stitch, and then that's the repeat for row number 2. Brioche purl, that means you purl together the stitch and the yarn over from the previous row, and then slip 1 yarn over just like we did previously. So you go with the needle under the yarn and into the stitch and slip it purlwise. And again, brioche purl, sorry, I lost my slip 1 yarn over, here it is. So slip 1 yarn over and again brioche purl, slip 1 yarn over, And when you have 2 stitches left, 2 because the stitch and the yarn over in brioche is considered 1 stitch, you have to do again a brioche purl and then slip purlwise with yarn in front the edge stitch. So in row number 2 it's with yarn in front, in row number 4 it will be with the yarn in the back. I will show you, but for now I'm just telling you. So this is row number 2. After that we turn the work, we pick up the first color yarn and we start knitting row number 3. In this row we have to purl the edge stitches, the first and the last one. So purl the first edge stitch, and then the repeat for this row is slip 1 yarn over, brioche purl. In the previous row it was brioche purl, slip 1 yarn over, and this one it's slip 1 yarn over, brioche purl. So we repeat that again and again. Slip 1 yarn over, brioche purl, slip 1 yarn over, brioche purl. Sorry. So here it is. And when you have 2 stitches left on the needles, you have to slip 1 yarn over and then purl the edge stitch. After that, slide the stitches to the other end. I'm just doing it like this because I don't want to let the needles on the table, and you have to listen to that noise. So row number 4, we slip purlwise the edge stitch. The yarn is in the back, that's why in the chart I say it's slip 1 purlwise with yarn in the back. And we start the repeat for this row, and it's the following: brioche knit, so we knit together the stitch and the yarn over from the previous row, and then slip 1 yarn over and repeat brioche knit, slip 1 yarn over, brioche knit, slip 1 yarn over. In the end you have 2 stitches. As I said, this is 1 stitch, the stitch and the yarn over, so we have this stitch and the edge stitch, and we brioche knit this last stitch before edge stitch, and we slip the edge stitch with the yarn in the back. As I said, in row number 2 is with the yarn in the front, and in row number 4 is with the yarn in the back. So rows number 2, 3 and 4 are important because they will be repeated after each pattern row that I will show you. I'm just putting my yarn so that it won't be tangled. So row number 5, this is the first pattern row, and that's where the increases start. So we brioche knit, we knit the edge stitch, and we start slip 1 yarn over here in this first column. So we have 3 columns of stitches in first color yarn. In the first column we have to do a 2 stitches increase, so we brioche knit, yarn over, brioche knit. Just after that you can slip the stitch from the needle. After that, slip 1 yarn over. In this central column we have to do a 4 stitches increase, so we brioche knit, yarn over, brioche knit, yarn over, brioche knit. After that, slip the stitch from the needle, slip 1 yarn over, and after that in this column you have to do a 2 stitches increase again, so brioche knit, yarn over, brioche knit, slip the stitch from the needle, slip 1 yarn over, and knit the edge stitch. So that was row number 5. As I said, this is the first pattern row, and after each pattern row you have to knit rows 2, 3 and 4. And now I will show you, I already showed you how to knit rows 2, 3 and 4, but now I will show you what happens in row number 2 when you have the increases, how you have to handle that. So row number 2, with the modifications for the increased stitches, slip the edge stitch and start the repeat that I showed you in row number 2. Brioche purl, slip 1 yarn over. So here are those 3 stitches that we did for the increase. So we slip 1 yarn over as we had to from the repeat, and then instead of brioche purl we just purl because it's 1 stitch, there's no yarn over, and again slip 1 yarn over. And again brioche purl for the repeat. So it's actually the repeat only here where are the increased stitches, you don't brioche purl, you just purl the stitches. So slip on yarn over, again purl, not brioche purl, slip on yarn over, purl, slip on yarn over. So when you have those stitches from the first yarn of color yarn, you know that that's the increase. So there you, instead of brioche purl, you just purl. Then you continue brioche purling. So brioche purl, slip on yarn over, and then again purl because it's the increased stitches, and slip on yarn over, and in the end brioche purl, and slip the edge stitch with yarn in front. So that was row number 2, and then after that you repeat rows 3 and 4, because as I said, you have to repeat rows 2, 3 and 4 after each pattern row. So I will do these rows 3 and 4, and then I will show you the next pattern row. That's row number 9. So now I will show you row number 9, but that's also row number 17, 25, 33, 45, 53, and 61. So in each of these rows you have a different number of stitches, but the repeat is the same, and I will show you how you have to knit these rows. Knit the edge stitch and then start the repeat, slip on yarn over, brioche knit. So you just repeat that, slip on yarn over, brioche knit, slip on yarn over, brioche knit, until you have only 2 stitches left in the end. So as I said, in each of these rows you do the same repeat, you'll just do it a different number of times. So we have 2 stitches left, we slip on yarn over and knit the edge stitch. So that's a very easy row. And as usual, as I said, after each pattern row you have to knit rows 2, 3 and 4. And then I will show you the next one. Row number 13, and it's easy to remember what to do. You just knit the edge stitch, after that slip on yarn over, and then in these columns you just have to brioche knit 1 column, slip on yarn over, then do 4 stitches, increase, brioche knit, yarn over, brioche knit, yarn over, brioche knit, slip on yarn over, and again brioche knit 1 column, and then the next one slip on yarn over, in the next one again you do the increase. So 1 it's brioche knit, then increase, again brioche knit, then increase. So for the increase, brioche knit, yarn over, brioche knit, yarn over, brioche knit, until you have 5 stitches. Then you slip the stitch from the needle, slip on yarn over. As I said, you continue with the brioche knit, slip on yarn over, here again the increase, 4 stitches increase, brioche knit, yarn over, brioche knit, yarn over, brioche knit, slip the stitch, slip on yarn over, brioche knit, slip on yarn over, and knit the edge stitch. So after this row you have to knit rows 2, 3 and 4, and then row 17 is the same as row number 9. I showed you the repeat for that row, and again after row 17 you have to knit rows 2, 3 and 4, and after that I will show you how to continue. Row number 21, knit the edge stitch, after that slip on yarn over, and then you have to brioche knit 2 columns, that's 1, slip on yarn over, brioche knit 2, slip on yarn over. Here in this middle stitch we have to do a 4 stitches increase, so brioche knit, yarn over, brioche knit, yarn over, brioche knit, slip on yarn over, brioche knit 3 columns, so that's 1, slip on yarn over, brioche knit 2, slip on yarn over, brioche knit 3, slip on yarn over, and we got again to the middle stitch of this 4 stitches increase, and we do again the increase here, brioche knit, yarn over, brioche knit, yarn over, brioche knit, slip the stitch, And after that, slip on yarn over, brioche knit 3 columns again, so that's 1, slip on yarn over, brioche knit 2, slip on yarn over, brioche knit 3, slip on yarn over. Again we have the middle stitch of the increase, and we do the increase there. Brioche knit, yarn over, brioche knit, yarn over, brioche knit, slip on yarn over, brioche knit 2 columns, that's 1, slip on yarn over, 2, slip on yarn over, and knit the edge stitch. So that's the entire row. After that, I knit rows 2, 3, and 4, and then row number 25 is the same as row number 9. You just knit brioche knit all the brioche knit columns and slip on yarn over in between, and then knit rows 2, 3, and 4 again. And I will show you how to knit row number 29. Row number 29, knit the edge stitch, slip on yarn over. In the next column, here we do 2 stitches increase, so brioche knit, yarn over, brioche knit. Now I will place a marker because I want you to explain I want to explain to you how the chart works and what means motive, and I will define every motive with markers of different colors. So here starts the first motive, and we have to knit it like this: slip on yarn over, brioche knit 2 columns, that's 1, slip on yarn over, brioche knit 2, slip on yarn over, 4 stitches increase, brioche knit, yarn over, brioche knit, yarn over, brioche knit, slip on yarn over, and again 2 stitches, 2 brioche knit columns. So slip on yarn, brioche knit, sorry, slip on yarn over, brioche knit, slip on yarn over, and here is the end of the first motive, and I will place again a blue marker. So here's the beginning and then the end. This is the column from which each feather is, each motive is increased by 1 feather. We have to increase right now. Brioche knit, yarn over, brioche knit, yarn over, brioche knit. So actually the motive will be 2 stitches more to the left. We'll replace them later on. I just want you, from this point, I want you to understand what motive means and how to follow the chart afterwards from row number 33. So here we will increase, and we have to place the marker for another motive. So again, that's slip on yarn over, brioche knit 2 columns, slip on yarn over, brioche knit 2, slip on yarn over, and increase, brioche knit, yarn over, brioche knit, yarn over, brioche knit, and that's a 4 stitches increase. After that, slip on yarn over and brioche knit 2 columns, 1, slip on yarn over, 2, slip on yarn over. And here's the end of the middle motive, the central one. Again, we place a marker, so that's 1. As I explained in the beginning, we have 1 column, 1 separating column that separates the motives, so that's 1, 2, 3, and 4. And in the middle, in between these columns, we have the 3 times the motive that I show you only in the central part. Well, in the full chart you can see that in that part is repeated 3 times, but in the compact chart it's only 1 time, and then here I just wrote motive, but you have to know that it's the same thing that we have in the center. So we continue, and we have to do the increase here in this separating column. So 4 stitches increase, brioche knit, yarn over, brioche knit, yarn over, brioche knit. And now the third motive, I will place a green marker, slip on yarn over, brioche knit 2 columns, 1, slip on yarn over, 2, slip on yarn over, Here in the center we have to increase, brioche knit, yarn over, brioche knit, yarn over, brioche knit, slip on yarn over, brioche knit 1, slip on yarn over, brioche knit 2, slip on yarn over, and here is the end of the motif. And in this last column we have to increase by 2 stitches, so brioche knit, yarn over, brioche knit, slip on yarn over, and knit the edge stitch. So I will show you now. I hope you can see it right now. So here's the first column, then the motif, then again the separating column, and then the motif, again the separating column in between the markers, and the third, the green motif in the end. So I hope it's clear how it works. So after this row, as usual, you have to knit rows 2, 3, and 4, and after that in row number 33 you just brioche knit the columns as just like we did in row number 9, and then repeat again rows 2, 3, and 4, and then I will show you how to knit row number 37. In row number 29 we increased each motif by 4 stitches, 2 on each side, and now we have to move the markers around because we have to have only 1 stitch in between the motifs. I will show you, and you will have to move them again after row number 68. So when you start the repeat from row number 33 again, you have to move the markers, or you can do it in row number 37 like I do it now. So the first marker of the first motif goes after the 3rd stitch. So this is the edge stitch, then slip on yarn over, and this is that separating column where we do the increase for the new feather. So you place the first marker after the 3rd stitch. 3rd because this yarn over and stitch count as just 1 stitch. After that, the second marker, we have them like this, you will place this one here and this one here, so we have only that middle stitch in between the markers. So let's do it. I'm sorry for the noise, I just don't know how to do it to show you. And then, so this is that central stitch, we place the marker before that stitch, and then the next marker after that stitch. And you can see right now it's so clear. This is that separating column, and this is the new feather that comes from this column. So this is the feather that we had, and this is the new feather that comes from here, and then one feather that comes from this column. That's why we move the markers around, because we had those new feathers created. So, and here we do the same thing, we just put the marker before that central stitch and after the central stitch. So here goes that marker, and then after this central stitch goes the next one. And I forgot, and that last marker goes before the 3 last stitches. So that's the edge stitch, then the slip on yarn over stitch, that, and the separating column. So we have 3 stitches, and then we place the marker after them. And this is how the markers are looking right now. So the first motif, again, that's the blue one, the blue one, the red one, and the green one. So 3 motifs, and then 1 column in between. Well, here we have more stitches because we have the edge stitch and the slip on yarn over stitch, like a symmetry stitch, and then 1 column. So this is how the markers should look before you start row 37. So now I will show you how to knit it, and we will add another set of markers. because, as I explained, in each, well, let me show you in this one. So inside of each motif, so this is the full motif, inside of it we have the repeating part, so excluding some stitches on the sides. And now when I'm showing you the first time these rows, you have only one repeat here, but when you do it the next time, and then, well, every next time after that, you will have more and more repeats here. So for you to have a better visual of this, we will add markers to define this repeating part. So now we need a row number 37, and then a row number 41 is exactly the same. Let's start. Knit the edge stitch, slip on yarn over, brioche knit this separating column, slip the marker, after that slip on yarn over, and now we will place a marker that confines that repeating part inside the inside each motif. And now we start the repeat part. Well, we start from here. So we did well actually we're here. So we did the edge stitch, slip on yarn over, then brioche knit that one column, and then the marker, the blue marker is here. And now we start the motif, and we placed this pink marker in this place where the black frame shows us that we have the repeats. So now after the marker, we have to do the repeat part. So as I said, in this row, and well, all the rows that I show you, I have only one repeat, but the next time you knit these rows all over from row number 33, you will have 2 and more repeats in between the pink markers. So let's do it. We start with a brioche knit, slip one yarn over, and now in these 2 columns we have to do a right slint decrease. For that, we slip knit twice the brioche stitch, knit the next one, pass over the slipped stitch, slip the stitch to the left needle, and pass over the next brioche stitch. Slip the stitch to the right needle, and that's the right slint decrease. After that, slip one yarn over, brioche knit 1 column, slip one yarn over, and here in this central stitch, well, that's a feather, one of the feathers, we have to increase here in this stitch, so by 4 stitches. Brioche knit. I'm sorry again for the noise because all the markers are making the noise. I'm just putting it like this. So brioche knit, yarn over, brioche knit, yarn over, brioche knit. Slip the stitch from the needle, slip one yarn over, brioche knit 1 column, slip one yarn over, and here in these 2 columns we have to do a left slint decrease. For that, slip knit twice the brioche stitch, and then knit together 2 brioche stitches and pass over that first slipped stitch. And here it is, the left slant decrease. After that, slip one yarn over, and here we place another pink marker because this is the end of the repeat. So after when you start again the repeat from this row, you will have to replace again the blue, all the markers that define your motif, and then the repeat part. So you can put a marker after each repeat, but that will be kind of a lot of markers because you'll have a lot of feathers somewhere in the end. So you can just place one marker in the beginning of all the repeats and then in the end of all the repeats. So you'll have the same number of stitches in between the markers as I do now. After the first marker you will have 1 stitch, and then after the second one you will have 2 stitches. Brioche knit, slip one yarn over, and then That's the end of the first motif, as you can see in the chart. So here we are here, before the next column that is between the motifs. So we did this column before that, and the edge stitches, the motif, and here stops the motif. And now we have to start from here. We need brioche knit one column, and then brioche knit one column. That's that before in between the motifs. So, and then we start the next motif. From here we start the next one, and we will place again the pink marker. After that, slip-on yarn over stitch, so we have confined this repeat part. So here I place another pink marker. No, sorry, I have to slip-on yarn over before that. So like this. Now I place the marker, so I know that from here the repeat inside the black frame starts, and now I do it once, but the next time I will do it more times, and the repeat is the same as I showed you in the beginning. Just brioche knit, slip-on yarn over, do a right side decrease, so slip knit twice the brioche stitch, and knit the next one, pass over, slip the stitch, and pass over the next brioche stitch, slip the stitch to the right needle. After that, slip-on yarn over, brioche knit one. So it's really the same thing we did in between the pink markers in the beginning. Brioche knit, slip-on yarn over, here we do the increase. After that, slip-on yarn over, brioche knit one, slip-on yarn over. Here we do the left side decrease, so slip knit twice the brioche stitch, knit together the next two brioche stitches, and pass over that first slip stitch. So after that, slip-on yarn over, and we have to place again another marker, because this is the end of the repeat. So when you have more, you just do more stitches, and also after that, in between these markers that define the end of the repeat and the end of the motif, you have two stitches. You just brioche knit. Sorry, I dropped my slip-on yarn over. I'll pick it up. So you have to brioche knit the stitch and then slip-on yarn over the next stitch. Slip the marker, again brioche knit that column in between the motifs, and start the next motif. And again we have to slip-on yarn over and place another set of markers, or at least that's what I do to explain better what you have to do and how the chart works, because we have this motif part that repeats, and then inside of it we have that black frame that defines the part that repeats inside of each motif. I don't know, maybe I repeated too many times, but I just wanted it to be clear, and I want you to understand how to do it, and maybe knit it if you like it, and I hope you like it. So now we do again that repeat inside of the black frame. So we brioche knit, slip-on yarn over, do a right side decrease, and slip the next, slip knit twice the stitch, knit the next one, pass over, slip the stitch to the left needle, and pass over the next brioche stitch. After that, slip the stitch to the right needle, slip-on yarn over, brioche knit, slip-on yarn over. Here we do the increase, brioche knit, yarn over, brioche knit, yarn over, brioche knit, slip-on yarn over, brioche knit one column, slip-on yarn over, slip knit twice the brioche stitch, knit together the next brioche stitches, and pass over, I have a split yarn here, and pass over that first slipped stitch. So we did the left side decrease, slip one yarn over, and after that we place that again the marker that defines the end of the repeat inside the black frame. So this is like the black frame. I have pink markers where in the chart we have the black frame. After that, brioche knit, slip one yarn over, and then brioche knit, slip one yarn over, and knit the edge stitch. So I hope it's clear why I have so many markers in so many different colors, and I hope you understand how this repeat works. And now you have to, after this row, you have to knit rows 2, 3, and 4, and then, as I said, row number 41 is the same, exactly the same. You just leave the markers where they are, you don't have to change their place. And then again knit rows 2, 3, and 4, and after that row number 45 is like row number 9. Very simple, you just brioche knit all the columns and then slip one yarn over in between, no increases there. After that you knit again rows 2, 3, and 4, and then in row number 49 I will show you what you have to do and how to knit it. So here's how my shawl looks after row number 48. So before row number 49 I have, well, you can see the start of these 3 feathers and then the middle columns. So let's start row number 49. Knit the edge stitch, slip one yarn over, knit one, just slip the marker, slip one yarn over, slip the marker, and here in between these pink markers we will do the repeat for this row, and it goes like this. We have to do a 4 stitches increase in this first column. So brioche knit, yarn over, brioche knit, yarn over, brioche knit, slip the stitches, slip one yarn over. After that brioche knit 2 columns, so that's 1, slip one yarn over, 2, slip one yarn over, and here in these 3 central columns we will do a 4 stitches decrease. And for that we have to slip knitwise the brioche stitch and then again knitwise the next one, and then the central stitch goes to a cable needle or to a stitch marker like this. You slip it purlwise and you leave it in front of the work. After that knit the next brioche stitch, pass over that slipped stitch, slip the stitch to the left needle, pass over the next brioche stitch, slip the stitch to the right needle and pass over the first stitch that we slipped. After that, slip the stitch from the stitch marker or cable needle to the left needle, slip the stitch from the right needle to the left needle and pass over that stitch that we had on the stitch marker. So, and slip the stitch to the right needle. So here it is, a 4 stitches decrease. After that, slip one yarn over, brioche knit 2 columns, 1, slip one yarn over, 2, slip one yarn over, and that's the end of the repeat. So now we have 1. The next time you will do this row you'll have more, so you'll do all of the repeats. Well, and you get to the pink marker, you just have to brioche knit. You have to increase by 4 stitches, so brioche knit, yarn over, brioche knit, yarn over, brioche knit, slip one yarn over, slip the marker. Here in this column we just brioche knit it. Only in row number 65 we will increase here, and the rest it's just brioche knitting. So slip the marker and we start again from this point, the same thing, because it's the same motif. So we have this blue, we just did it, and then I have the red one in the center and we do the same thing, and then the green one. So I just In the end, you just have to brioche knit, slip on yarn over and knit the edge stitch just like we did in the beginning. So I guess I won't show it to you because the video will be too long, but you have to do the same thing that we did until now. After this row, you have to knit rows 2, 3 and 4. After that, you have to knit row number 53, just the way we knit row number 9. And after that, again, rows 2, 3 and 4. And now I will show you how to knit row number 57. Knit the edge stitch, slip on yarn over, brioche knit, slip the marker, slip on yarn over, and this pink marker that, as I said, shows us where the repeats start inside the motif. So that's the black frame on the chart. We have to move it because after the start of the motif and before the black frame we have not 1 but 3 stitches. So we will move the marker 2 stitches to the left. So we slip on yarn over, brioche knit 1, slip on yarn over, and here we place the marker and we start the repeat just like in the previous row. As you can see, inside the black frame, these 3 rows, 49, 57 and 65, have the same repeat. So in between inside the pink markers, we do the same thing. We have to do the increase, 4 stitches increase, so brioche knit, yarn over, brioche knit, yarn over, brioche knit. After that, slip on yarn over, brioche knit 2 columns, that's 1, slip on yarn over, 2, slip on yarn over, and here in these 3 stitches we do the 4 stitches decrease. So slip, knit twice the brioche stitch, again knit twice the next one, then we have to slip to the cable needle or stitch marker, the central stitch purlwise, and leave it in front, knit the next stitch, pass over, slip to the left needle, pass over, slip to the right needle, pass over. After that, slip the stitch from the stitch marker, like this, and then from the right needle to the left needle, and pass over that stitch from the stitch marker. Slip the stitch to the right needle. So we have a 4 stitches decrease just above the previous one. After that, slip on yarn over, brioche knit 1, slip on yarn over. As I said, the marker goes 2 stitches to the left, so we just take it, brioche knit 2, slip on yarn over, and now we place the marker. So if you have more repeats, you just do them every repeat, and then in the end you have to have only 4 stitches remaining before the motif marker. So that's 1, 2, 3 and 4. So before those 4 stitches you place the marker, and you just do the increase here, brioche knit, yarn over, brioche knit, yarn over, brioche knit, slip the stitch, slip on yarn over, brioche knit 1, slip on yarn over. So the increase goes just above the previous one. After that, slip the marker, brioche knit the stitch, slip the marker, and we have to start again for this motif just like here. So you do the same thing, you move around the markers just like we did. It's the second motif and then goes the third motif, and you do the same thing that we did from this the beginning of the first motif. And then in the end you have to brioche knit, slip on yarn over, and knit the edge stitch after the end of the last motif. And every time don't forget to move the place of the pink markers. After that you have to knit rows 2, 3 and 4, and then knit row 61 just like I showed you in row number 9, And after that, again, knit rows 2, 3, and 4. Row number 65, the last pattern row. Knit the edge stitch. After that, slip one yarn over, and here we have to, that is the column between the motifs, we have to increase. So in the beginning we increase by 2 stitches in the beginning, and the first column and the last brioche column we brioche knit, yarn over, brioche knit. After that, slip the marker, slip one yarn over, brioche knit, slip one yarn over, and just like in the previous row, we have to change the place of the marker by 2 stitches to the left. So we continue, brioche knit, slip one yarn over, and now you can place the marker. And we start the repeat for this row, and it's 4 stitches increase, just like the previous. The repeat is the same. 4 stitches increase, so brioche knit, yarn over, brioche knit, yarn over, brioche knit, slip one yarn over, brioche knit 1, slip one yarn over, brioche knit 2, slip one yarn over, and here those 3 stitches above the previous 4 stitches decrease, we do it again. So we slip knit twice the brioche stitch, again the next brioche stitch. Now we slip purlwise the central stitch to the stitch marker or cable needle, leave it in front, knit the stitch, slip, pass over the next brioche stitch, slip the stitch to the left needle, pass over, slip to the right needle, pass over, after that slip the stitch from the stitch marker to the left needle, and then from the right needle to the left needle, and pass over that stitch that we slipped from the stitch marker. Slip the stitch to the right needle, and there you go, we have the 4 stitches decrease. After that, slip one yarn over, brioche knit, slip one yarn over, and again we have to place this marker 2 stitches to the left. So brioche knit, slip one yarn over, and now we place the marker. So that's the end of the repeat for this row. And after that we have to increase by 4 stitches, brioche knit, yarn over, brioche knit, yarn over, brioche knit, slip one yarn over, brioche knit, slip one yarn over, brioche knit, slip one yarn over. So that's the end of the motif, the first motif. And now in between the motifs, in the beginning, before the motif, we did 2 stitches increase, and now in between here and here we will do a 4 stitches increase, and in the end again a 2 stitches increase. So now we do a 4 stitches increase in between these motif markers, brioche knit, yarn over, brioche knit, yarn over, brioche knit, slip the marker, and you start again the same thing we did from this point, and you change the place of the pink markers, and you get here, and again, as I told you, you have to do a 4 stitches increase in between, just like we did here. So you do it here, and again you repeat the same thing I showed you, and when you get to this point, to the last marker, I will show you what to do. So when you get to the last marker, slip it and just do a 2 stitches increase. So brioche knit, yarn over, brioche knit, slip the stitch, slip one yarn over, and knit the edge stitch. So now I will show you how this all looks after finishing this row. So we have the edge stitch, slip one yarn over, then the 2 stitches increase, then 2 columns, and then the marker is before the 4 stitches increase, and then the brioche knit columns, the decrease, and again the marker is before the increase, and after 2 brioche columns, that's the finish of the motif. And then in between the motifs we have the increase. The same thing repeats, again the increase between the motifs, and then the repeat, and in the end, after the end of the motif, we have 2 stitches increase. So this is a row 65. After that you have to knit rows 2, 3 and 4 as usual, and then you have to start the repeat from row number 33. After row number 68, I changed the place of the markers, and I want to show you what I did and how they should look. You can do it at this point or in row number 37, where it's important to have them in the right place. So the first thing you do, you put at the right places the markers for the motifs. So the first marker, the first motif starts 3 stitches after 3 stitches you place the first marker, and then here in the middle you have the motif markers with 5 stitches in between them. You just place them so the central stitch is between them, like here, and the same thing here. You can see now that's the central stitch for this column in between the motifs, and you place the markers before and after that column, and in the end you place the marker 3 stitches before the last 3 stitches. So that's for the motif markers. And then the repeat markers, that black frame that I have pink markers for, you have to place them 1 stitch after the motif marker, and then 2 stitches before the end of the motif. So that's the motif, and after 1 stitch you place 1 marker, and 2 stitches before that you place another marker, and in the middle you have 2 repeats. Now when you do again the repeat of these rows, you'll have 3 and more, and so on and so on. So the same thing here, placed the motif marker, then 1 stitch, and then the repeat marker, again 2 stitches, and after the repeat marker you have the motif marker, and here the same thing, 1 stitch, and then starts the repeat, and then after the repeat finishes we have 2 stitches, and the motif finishes. So this is row number 68. After row number 68 you can bind off. Well, of course not after the first one. You have to do some repeats before that. The easiest way to do the bind off is like the way I show in my other shawl videos. You knit, then purl, then pass over, then brioche knit, pass over. So you have to brioche knit the brioche knit columns, and then purl those purl columns, and after, when you have 2 stitches, you pass one over the other one. Have to take off all the markers. So we continue: brioche knit, pass over, purl, and pass over, and again brioche knit and pass over, then purl one and pass over. So it's very easy to bind off like this, and I recommend you to do it very loose because brioche is very stretchy. And that's it. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you'll enjoy knitting the shawl.